afternoon, YouTube. This is the Gentleman Scholar. Coming to you from Manchester, New Hampshire. Took the little pipe video off because it's making it hard to smoke. So there's too much clenching going on there. Sometimes you just have to trust yourself. Anyway. I can't talk and smoke at the same time. I'm still learning. Anyway, this is housekeeping. This is I believe this is a Falcon. And I'm smoking some vanilla Cavendish. I don't even know who gave me that, but it's pretty good. I have a little left, so I thought I'd use it for this video. Anyway, today I wanted to kind of give you a little snapshot of what I'm about, what I'm into, other than pipe smoking, which I'm still learning. I toil after it like I toil after virtue. Forgot who said that, but it was regarding the smoking of a pipe. And never a truer word. Has been spoken. Alright, so I ordered this up in the mail this past week from Amazon. It was a decent price. It was Mike Deodato's run on Wonder Woman back in the 90s. And, as you can imagine, with the interest in the new movie, it was readily available. The art is very 90s. And by 90s, I mean very bombastic. Very, lots of women with lots of cleavage. Big, brawny men. Everything was over the top, extreme. It was a big thing in the 90s, in comics in the 90s. It was like, we can thank Image, we can thank Rob Liefeld for that, Todd McFarlane. He gave us heroes like Spawn. They weren't afraid to kill their enemies. Spawn, Youngblood, all this paramilitary, jacked up, muscle-bound type of attitude that kids just ate up. The kids just ate up back in the day. I was still into comics back then. I still am into comics, but that just never appealed to me. Like the multi-foil covers, and you have to collect them all, and there's capitalism run rampant, really. But you look back at it now, like everything else, and it's a product of its time, and now it seems almost quaint. Yeah, so I'll be reading that. There's a bit in there where Diana, Wonder Woman, beats the Joker by channeling the forest god Pan, who's the god of, he's basically a trickster god. Channels him and beats the Joker at his own game. In other words, basically being more insane than the Joker. Stole his thunder. That's what I really remember from that run. Really enjoyed it. So I said, gosh, I'd like to read those again. So I ordered them. Next on the agenda, I saw this in the airport yesterday, my one-day trip that seemed like it lasted two. I don't have to say out the title because it says it right there. But that's about basically, it's just, I don't have it ready yet, I'm reading the cover. I'm probably going to take a break from Outlander, the 6th Outlander book, and Outlander books are like that big. And they're great, they're very well detailed, but they're a long read, and they're a lot of work, but they're rewarding. And like my friend Pappy Ferreira down in Florida, he's not on YouTube, but he's on a Facebook page. He reads like literally the speed of sound, and it's got to be at least 3 books a week. Wish I had that gift. I believe I'm getting used to this pipe smoking thing, but there's always more to learn. But anyway, the art of that particular book by The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up by Mark Manson, it's basically a book about picking your battles. We live in a society that says, go for the gusto, be the best you can be, you're destined for greatness, and some people are, especially if you're into making so much money that no one else has any. That's what our culture really goes for. That's the bar for success. So, meaning, purpose, that kind of thing. This is basically, the book says, get some ash coming out of here. That's a problem I need to address. But the book is basically about picking your battles. Let's face it, the world and humanity and all of its institutions kind of suck because the human factor. Humans are flawed, imperfect beings, and so are their institutions and everything they create, including job structures, command structures, everything really. And so where there are humans, there's going to be inconsistency, there's going to be aggravation, the system's going to be broken no matter where you go. So, the book's basic message is to pick your battles. Gonna burn my clothes here. Pick your battles. Don't freak out over everyone that you lose. Just pick the things you want to give a F about, and try to. Everything else you can just kind of let go as much as possible. And believe me, in my job, that's been very important. It's like most systems. It's sometimes you feel you're set up to fail. So if you're set up to fail, concentrate on the areas that you know you're going to succeed in. And I just look forward to reading that book because it's like, I'll do my best, but I'm not going to knock myself out, nor am I going to pick up the slack for someone else. I mean, I will do my job. I will deal with things the best that I can, and I'm not taking responsibility for the whole thing. I can only take responsibility for me. Man, what more can anyone ask? Alright. That was got at Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble sort of like a sanctuary for me. I saw this on sale. I picked it up. Only one season to go on this. Of course, I didn't see this during the initial run. I saw it in reruns shortly after. But so it is one of the better shows on was one of the better shows on television. And once the fourth season makes it into this has got this for like $12, one whole season. You can't beat that. So once the fourth season comes around, I'll add that to the collection as well. But the main reason why I went to Barnes & Noble, other than that self-help book, quote-unquote self-help, is this. Mojo, it's a British magazine. Nick Cave and the interview with Nick Cave. Now, Nick Cave, for the layperson, I'm big into music. Maybe not as big as the folks in High Fidelity, that movie if you've ever seen it. They're psycho into music. I'm not crazy about music enough to like own a record store and argue with customers about the merits of one band or one musical movement versus another, but I think I know more than the average person. And that's not even the whole point of it, really. Let's just say I'm musically well-traveled. And Nick Cave, for the layperson, is take one part Leonard Cohen. If you have to describe him, he's basically, I would say, folk, and he's from the strain of folk that Leonard Cohen comes from in the 60s. Very nihilist, very dark. But a beautiful dark. Sadness, the beauty and sadness, that sort of thing. And he lost his son last year, I believe it was a year and a half or 2 years ago. Has a whole album devoted to that, called Skeleton Tree. He also has a best of out. I guess that's what that's commemorating. And the closest he has to a hit, I guess you could say, is Red Right Hand. You've heard that off the Scream soundtrack. Very spooky, creepy, urban legend sort of character he draws in that particular song. Another closest thing he's had to it is Where the Wild Roses Grow, back in late 90s with Kylie Minogue, of all people. Both of them are Australian, so. Nick Cave is very good, but like I said, you have to be kind of open to that kind of dark, poetic mood, I guess you could say. A lot of goths like him, even though he's not typically considered goth, but dark enough for goth, I'll say that. But anyway, I've always liked Nick Cave. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm a huge enough fan to like run out and get a magazine with an interview in him, with an interview with him in it. Thank you. So I look forward to reading that. I have more reading than I'll ever possibly be able to do in a lifetime. But hey. I figure when the apocalypse comes, and I'm stuck like Burgess Meredith in the Twilight Zone in a cellar with nothing but books to read, I'll be all set. Anyway, my friend Norm, he's not on YouTube, but he's on Facebook. His Facebook pipe group. He sent me that wonderful rat tray, which I haven't smoked yet. By the way, all you pipe folks out there, how do you break in a new pipe? Is there anything you're supposed to smear on the inside, or you just start smoking? What do you do? Any special tips? Let me know if you have any advice. I appreciate it. Also, I'm not into like VR contests or anything like that. I figure if you want to come and watch my videos, you can. But I would like to know this. Anyone who's following me and who cares to respond. What kind of music you into? Or bands or artists you favor? It doesn't have to be a genre of music, because I know a person who really likes music isn't going to limit them to one kind of genre. I know Johan Sweden, the Mindful Pipe, he's particular to Irish music, Irish punk music. But, yeah, if you could think about it, if you want to VR me or just respond, what kind of music you into? Or genres, or artists, and tell me why. Music is just as important as excuse me, anything else, at least as important as pipe tobacco, I would imagine, and the pipes that you smoke. See, I can't tell you any favorites with this yet because I'm still learning. And at the rate I'm going, I'm forever going to be a newbie. for the rest of my life, but I've got many, many good mentors out there. Talking to you, Padre, Holy Smoking Pipe Padre. Talking to you, Grandpa Cavendish. Very nice guy. He hosted a German friend visiting him. He took him out to Montauk in Long Island, New York. And he made a video about it. I like that camaraderie, that friendship link that comes with pipe smoking. And Ed was very kind enough to open his home up to this gentleman from Germany. I guess he ran into him in a smoke shop, I guess. I'm not sure if he followed his videos first or what, but... we invited him over and they hung out, did some exploring, smoked a pipe, had some drinks. Stuff of life. I'm a lazy son of a bitch because life is supposed to be taken very easily and very slowly. I like to loaf. And I guess very Hobbit-like, I suppose. Oh yeah, Clayton. He's not on Facebook either. But Clayton M., he's truly a Hobbit. Takes good care of his pipes, unlike me. Likes all the same movies I like and likes to have a drink, and he just puts his pictures on Facebook, and it's like he looks and comports himself like a Hobbit, and that's the highest compliment I can give to any human being, really, not just pipe smokers. The aforementioned Pappy, not on Facebook, but yeah, most of the pipe people I know and get tips from, they're not on Facebook. They're on a lot of Facebook pipe groups, and there's a lot of bleed over. There's a lot of overlap there, which is just a good group to talk to, really. And if I forgot anyone, please don't be offended. Oh yeah, don't be offended. I'm just sort of like doing stream of consciousness. I'm talking right now. Umfidis down in South Africa. Welcome from my stoop. Ooh, it's getting hot. I guess he's a minister. I guess that's the nearest translation. Umfidis is in in Afrikaans. Afrikaans is I don't want to say a version of Dutch, but it's a Dutch offshoot. And I guess Umfidis Tebo speaks to us in English during his videos, and every now and again he does a video on South African slang and certain South African slang and Afrikaans terms. It's good to know where other people live and how they speak and everything else. Also, Beard from London, working class Londoner. Always good to see his videos. He's also into music, big time. But I think she's out. Yeah, and speaking of music, the other day, my husband and I, tide went on, got in our cups, and we ended up going upstairs and listening to some vinyl. We don't do it very often, and every now and again it's nice just to sit between two really excellent speakers and just hear the sound quality of vinyl. And David Bowie's Heathen album, I believe, he likes a song on it called 5:50 and the Angels Have Gone. He calls it Trains because most of it takes place on a train or switching trains. Let's see. David Bowie's Heathens. Did 2 Beatles albums, Sgt. Pepper's and Magical Mystery Tour. And yeah, also, oddly enough, we threw the Carpenters in. Now the Carpenters, you'd think they're like your average person not really knowing who the Carpenters are. Yeah, they were 1970s MRR soft rock, yes. But there's that voice, Karen Carpenter's voice. And in some ways, the Carpenters' music is just as sad and just as morose as anything from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds or Leonard Cohen or The National or any of the really, really sad country folks like George Jones. I mean, in many, many ways, there's a seam of sadness in there that just really hits you. That honeyed voice of hers just really sells it, really brings it home. I wish the instrumentation could be a little less 70s session man. You know, a lot of it's very, very product of its time. program country guitars. Like Top of the World would make an excellent country tune if someone covered it. Some alt country person covered it, and not even ironically, but just really bring out, the country flavors in it. Yeah, but I'm beginning to ramble now, and I don't want to do that because I'm going on 20 minutes, and we all have things to do, as I like to say. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. And if anyone can give me a heads up as to why I keep getting ashes all over myself, please feel free to tell me. But I think I'm coming along fairly well with the pipe smoking thing, considering I knew nothing about it, or a whole lot less about it a year ago. But practice makes perfect, I guess. I hope you're all well. Oh yes, David Nolte. Just wanted to say hello to him, Silver Fox. All of you in the pipe community, I'm very happy to know you. And I'm glad to... I'm not going to say I'm a part of this community. I'm saying I'm working towards being a bona fide member of it, because I don't know, I still feel like a poser sometimes regarding pipe smoking. I still feel like a dilettante. I'm not there yet, but obviously the more I do it, the more I practice, the more I will learn, and it feels like second nature. Alright folks, I'm going to sign off here. I hope you're having a good summer, and next time, if I can remember, I will talk to you about the ridiculous... I have a SkyPro at work. I'm a flight attendant for a major airline, Legacy Airline. We have a computer called a SkyPro. It's to help us make our jobs easier, and I better not go into it now. I'll save that to my next video, because it really highlights the absurdities of my job sometimes. Alright, take care folks. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.